How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI. If you guys remember what I said in my previous video, I was looking for us to form a higher low, maybe around $9.50. We ended up getting our higher low at around $9.63. So that's part of the reasons why I'm still bullish on this play. And you guys remember what I said for the month of April. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and then on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $9.77, being down 3.65%. On the low, it tested $9.63, and then on the high, testing $10.57. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 59.473 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 49.787 million shares. So you can see we did have above average volume, but we've seen a slight pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 48.24. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as you can see right here, we closed just above the 21-day EMA. It is at $9.75, and we close at $9.77. So if you guys remember what I was saying in yesterday's video, I wanted us to form a higher low, and that's exactly what we did. I was predicting around 950, but we ended up seeing a low of around 963. So going into tomorrow, I want to see some continued strength. Considering the fact that we did reach a high of $10.57, this would be an area you'd want to keep an eye on, especially when SOFI breaks above $10. Because if we're able to pass $10.57, that's where I want to look forward to seeing SOFI get to $11, or just getting to the 50-day right here at $11.01. Of course, this will be a psychological area. I could see a lot of profit taking, but if we have that volume continuing to come into the play, then we could potentially look for a move going here to around $11.51. Now, if we decide to consolidate or we have a further pullback, most preferably consolidation would be good. I would like to see support hold up in the worst case scenario right here around $9.25. So let's see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. Let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for SOFI. Scrolling down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for March the 30th, we have Saget Value Holdings that purchased 4,500 shares, and then we also have Neuberger Berman Long Short Fund Class A with a short position, just under 965,000 shares. So now when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 33.68%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 9.98 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.1 million, updated 3 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 1.60%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 28th, it was at 46.72, and then for the close of the 29th being at 33.68. So that is a big difference right there, but one thing that remains the same, SOFI does have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SOFI. So we see on the inflow it's at 112, and then on the outflow it's at 107. So we had an inflow day, and keep in mind these numbers are in the millions. Taking a look at the large, it was 6.68. On the medium, it was 71.62, and then on the small, it is 33.38. Taking a look at the outflow side, on the large, it was 8.47. On the medium, it was 67.48, and then on the small, it was 31.13. free. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, March the 30th, it being that outflow of negative 1.79 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 7.20%. So no surprises there. We already know SOFI is a volatile stock. It trades at relatively high volume. And also seeing the high of the day at $10.57, and then we had to pull back towards the end of the day. That's why I'm not surprised why we see a lot of traders showing interest. And I still see some strength as far as for the rest of this week. I'll talk about it further in the final thoughts, so let's go into it right now. So for my final thoughts for SOFI, when it comes to the price action, what you want to look out for, the breakout level for tomorrow is going to be at $10.57. The moment we have some price action above this level, then I want to see SOFI get to $11. This is very achievable. We know it trades at relatively high volume, so if we have a lot of buying pressure, it should be able to do just that. And then after $11, the next level to look out for is at $11.50. And breaking through $11.50, you already know what could happen. We can make that move going to $12. But again, keep an eye on these levels, but I see more movement in SOFI in the month of April. Don't need to rush into this. Let the stock consolidate, because I know I was getting a lot of questions. People sending me messages. Did you see SOFI pulling back? What is going on? Why are people selling and so forth? And I'm like, you know what? It is perfectly okay. Stocks just do not go straight up. You have to let it consolidate and get ready for the next move. So that's why, as far as the pullback we saw inside of the market, and knowing that the market has been running up for quite some time, it's to be expected. So I want to make sure that you're maintaining your composure, especially if you are swing trading this. Of course, if you are a long-term investor and you added on that dip that I was talking about, then you should be seeing some green inside of your portfolios. And it doesn't mean, well, you know what, will it pull back to those levels again? I'm personally not seeing it, but I do see some more upside. So just sit tight, continue to do your homework, do your due diligence, and on top of that, watch my videos. So even if we do have a pullback for tomorrow, or we want to look at the bearish case scenario, I would be very curious to see if we pulled back to around $9.25, because if that level did break, then we'd be testing right at $9. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see that institutions have been loading the boat on shares. And also, like we talked about in previous videos, we could see management is doing the same as well. And the fact that we were able to add more to our positions at a lower price than management, I think that is a very good look right there. And I can't wait to see how this play progresses as the year continues. But one thing that is clear over here, we do our homework and we do our due diligence. So let's see SOFI get back to the $10 level, because I feel like that will set us up very nicely going into next week. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.